Sunday's Super Bowl, a rematch 17 years in the making, harkens back to a thrilling 2002 title game between Tom Brady's underdog New England Patriots and the high-flying St. Louis, now Los Angeles, Rams. But the host of this year's game, Atlanta's sparkling new Mercedes-Benz Stadium, reminds us of something less thrilling, the $1 billion or so that politicians give away in unnecessary public handouts to professional sports every year. The $1.6 billion stadium was underwritten by $248 million in local bonds. Once taxpayers pay those off, they'll then write the Falcons an annual check for stadium operations and upkeep. Our calculations suggest taxpayers will pay around $1.02 billion over the course of the deal. Combined with $77 million in sales tax rebates, infrastructure investments and city-provided land, locals could be on the hook for more than 5 times the initial $200 million estimate. The story is the same in most other sports cities. And like other sports teams, the Falcons rake in buckets of money: corporate sponsorships, $900 million, and personal seat licenses, $267 million, could have paid for 75% of the stadium cost alone, not to mention annual revenue from season ticket sales, $550 to $3,850 per ticket, TV revenue and merchandise licensing, $256 million, stadium concessions and other events in the stadium. There are only so many tax dollars to go around. Misspending them to enhance sports profits means that public services must be cut, taxes have to be higher, or both. And Americans from coast to coast share the burden. The income lenders earn on the municipal bonds typically used to finance stadium construction is exempt from federal income taxes. That means the rest of us have to pay higher taxes, or see the federal deficit climb, to make up for the shortfall. Brookings Institution researchers estimated the stadium loophole was responsible for $3.7 billion in lost federal revenue between 2000 and 2014. President Barack Obama tried to end it, as did House Republicans in last year's tax reform, but the sports industry won each time. But taxpayers and principled political leaders have begun standing up to the sports industry. Last fall, local citizen groups in Austin and Seattle forced public referenda that would require popular votes on future stadium subsidies. Meanwhile, a group of Atlanta taxpayers is challenging another tax exemption. Their lawsuit argues that even though the Falcons Stadium is built on publicly owned land, the fact that the team controls all events and revenue it generates means it should pay local property taxes. That could amount to $700 million over 30 years. And in the Washington, D.C. area, Virginia Delegate Michael Webber has partnered with Maryland Delegate David Moon and D.C. Councilmember David Grosso to advance an interstate compact that would prohibit subsidies for a new Washington Redskins stadium. This would prevent their 3 governments from engaging in a taxpayer-funded bidding war to attract the team. If all 50 states were to sign on to a similar agreement, we could permanently end the subsidy war for sports teams. Fans may be excited to experience the Super Bowl at Atlanta's new facility, but they should remember the money that subsidizes stadiums could go to much better purposes. Sunday's spectacle will show yet again that the NFL doesn't need or deserve public money.